Well, basically, they already had some songs cut. Parlet did. When I came into the situation, I think Deb and Jeanette were under the impression that Parlet was going to be 2 girls, and then the brides were supposed to be 3. And so they had already started some tracks already. And so when I came in, I kind of had to make up for lost time, and try to get the vibe back that me and Deb had, plus get a vibe with Ned and everything, and also try to find my own thing, because that's the first time I had been in the studio on like a featured vocalist thing, So we ended up doing it pretty fast because it had to be turned in. And then finally, Scheider and Johnny Perrin and some of the fellas in the band called a meeting with me and Jeanette and said, y'all know you're going to have to replace Debbie. And we were like very upset. We were really crying about it, and it was very devastating. But even though as much as me and Jeanette didn't want to believe it, when everybody else starts coming to you and says, hey, take a good look, you don't need any of this right now, then you have to sort of take heed. And we still even tried to hang in there with her, for first couple of months of rehearsal. And then even at rehearsal it was obvious, that she might not make it through.
And we had no idea how late we were. And we got in, and whoever was in charge of the project, making sure that the acts were taken care of, told us that we had 15 minutes. Well, we hadn't showered, we hadn't seen our luggage, we hadn't brushed our teeth, we hadn't taken a bath. I hadn't washed, we hadn't washed our face. We're still on the road. We still have road dust on us. And no fresh towels. We hadn't eaten. And they told us that we could eat what was left. Well, it's hot, it's sunny, we're down south, flies everywhere. All the groups ahead of us had eaten. It was a buffet, deli buffet. Everything had been eaten and picked over, and what was left was, was good enough for the cats and the dogs. We looked at it, turned our nose up. Okay, well, we can't eat. Where are the towels? Where's the restroom? We have no towels. We had nothing. So, being very disgusted, pissed off as it was, Melia said, took the tablecloth off the table, ripped that sucker in 3s, and we went in the public john, hit those spots. I can't recall who brought in our suitcases, but we had everything. We were out there in the public, with the public, supposed to be this major act, washing up in the sink with our fresh new outfits. First time we were going to put our fresh new outfits on. Putting them on in a public john, but we went out there and kicked ass. That was our first show.
Didn't have as much interest in Parlet as it seemed like he had in the beginning.
I think George kind of lost interest in Parlet, actually, even from the beginning when Debbie left. To be honest, that's my feelings, True enough, they always think women are always a problem in groups, and a lot of times they are, because women are emotional creatures, so there's always going to be something going on. But I think, because Debbie and George had a really good relationship, and for her to, really just kind of lose it at that time, I think he lost interest even at that point, even though he was, still going to do something. But I think he really lost interest at that point. Okay. And I don't think it was fair for the rest of us, because, Parlet is still Parlet,
Yeah.
Same sound, same kick your butt show, so, yeah.
Do you think Invasion of the Booty Snatchers, if Mally had stayed, could have been Parlet's springboard?
Yes, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think the flavor of the music changed slightly. And that had a lot to do with George not really being the one producing, most of the songs and stuff. So when you got a different producer doing something that the original person that created it, it just makes it different, So it affected it a lot.
Okay, let's talk about Play Me a Trade, Man.
Now that was a good album. That was a very good album, and that one in itself could have really done some great damage. But here we go back again. Never got any promotion. There was never any work put into what Parlet did, and my feelings turned out to be that for me, we seemed to be just a tax write-off. And that was kind of the turning point for me. It was like, okay, it's time to go.
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to be used anymore, and that's what I felt like was going on.